Welcome, friends, to the Beaver Dam. Today we're going to be talking about the kit reveal. It just came out yesterday, and I just wanted to take a moment and kind of talk about it just a bit. Kind of the good sides and the bad sides and my thoughts. And just kind of go through it overall. So, you know, he's the damage dealer for the team, it looks like, is kind of what they're saying. He's an attacker. And it seems like he's feeding into a lot of the same a lot of the same mechanics as Boss Nass, which is really cool. As well as he seems to kind of keep the team alive to a certain degree. So he kind of seems like an attacker and a support. But, of course, the shield generator mechanics are very important. I do love the flavor of this character. CG's always really great about flavor. They do say here that we're trying out the new specialty for, especially for Gungans, or specifically for Gungans, with the new Marquee event. So it looks like this will be the same way as Boss Nass, which I'm very grateful for. I'm really hoping they could continue this past Gungans, because this has been one of my favorite changes to Marquee events I've ever seen, and I'm really excited for it. It actually makes me want to spend money on new characters. So we got our first ability, Hey Yusa, the basic. So, deal physical damage to target enemy, shock them for 1 turn. If the target enemy has any buffs, dispel them, deal damage an additional time. Gungan allies gain advantage for 2 turns. So, just off his basic, he gives the entire team advantage, which is crazy. But yeah, also, you know, shocking and then dispel buffs is amazing. I'm curious, so if the target had buffs, dispel them and deal additional time. So I think that means if they have Foresight, it should dispel the Foresight. I was expecting that with Bane, but apparently it didn't happen. But that's what it sounds like they're trying to do. So we'll see. But you're going to see a lot of anti-separatist synergy in here. I don't know if that's referencing Trench and the buffs they're going to do to him, or if they're referencing General Grievous, because honestly, Trench is not in a great place in this game. Like, I would expect they're going to do something for the guy this year. Deal true damage to all enemies on his ouch time special. So true damage means it ignores defense, which is going to be great. Dealing 10% more damage per debuffed enemy. Also amazing, because this team has a lot of debuffs from what we're seeing, and I'm guessing, here's my theory, putting on our tinfoil hat, I'm thinking that Jar Jar will give stacks of confusion around, maybe. It's going to be some debuff, but I'm guessing the chaos that he's going to do is going to be like, he gives confusion to the enemy, he gives confusion to his allies, and then his allies gain buffs off of how many stacks of confusion they have, whereas the enemy gets even more debuffs with stacks of confusion. Or something of that sort of, like, you know, they might add a new debuff of that same type, but I'm expecting that he'll apply debuffs on both sides, just for the flavor of Jar Jar being an idiot. So, remove 10% turn meter from all enemies, which is super nice. Enemies without debuffs are staggered for a turn, heck yeah, so even more turn meter removal. And then Separatist enemies without debuffs are stunned for 1 turn, which can't be resisted. So, yeah, that's amazing. Remove 2 stacks of recharge from allied shield generator. So you use this ability and you'll remove 3 stacks overall, because Boss Nass says whenever a Gungan takes a turn, they remove a stack. So this ability can't be evaded, and so it looks like they're really trying to push no Foresight can protect the other team. Or dodging. I don't know, maybe they're thinking that they'll bring back dodge crons. I don't know. Deal physical damage to target enemy. So this one is no gibbon up. Dealing 10% more damage per debuff. So heavy debuff damage stuff. Feels a lot like Marauder, the Sith Marauder. Call target other ally to assist. Okay. That means you can call multiple allies to assist if you target Boss Nass. So I'm curious how this is going to work. Gungan allies gain critical damage up and recover 25% protection. Protection's a huge thing on this entire team. It seems like, it looks like they'll all share a unique ability, at least so far that we've seen of these two, and we'll get to that in a sec. Inflict marked on, this is the big part that I'm like super excited for. Inflict marked on the target enemy for 1 turn if they don't already have it. If the target enemy is Separatist, also inflict enemy leader with marked for 2 turns, which can't be dispelled, evaded, or resisted. Meaning that, you know, if you're going up against Trench, if you're going up against General Grievous, you're going to use this ability, and it'll mark down General Grievous, and it'll mark down Trench, even out of their stealth. So it'll be really, really good to just get this out there and absolutely stomp the leader, because that's really what the team is based around, is the leader for both of those teams. Without the leader, you kind of lose a lot of the effectiveness of the team. So it's the same reason why Jedi Knight Revan works against General Grievous, is because you can mark down General Grievous and kill him off, and then the rest of the team falls apart. It's the same thing with Gas, but Gas has a mechanic to prevent it. But if you insta-kill him, the whole team falls apart. Okay, the last thing we got is the unique, and this is Misa Tink of something. This is a lot of text, so bear with me for a second. At the start of the battle, Captain Tarpal loses 75% of max health and gains that much protection. So this is the same mechanic that we saw in Boss Nest, and it looks like it's going to be a big thing among all of the Gungans. And so I love the flavor of it, them having shields instead of, you know, health. But, you know, we'll see what we can do. So whenever Captain Tarpals attacks out of turn, deal bonus true damage equal to 5% of his max protection. So it's kind of a Keller and Beck kind of thing, which we saw with Keller and Beck wasn't actually that insane, honestly, but it's still going to be good. Like, I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. It's just you were expecting 20% of Keller and Beck's max protection as true damage to be something impressive, and it wasn't that impressive. And the 5% hits like a wet noodle, honestly. I'm using wet noodle a lot lately. But, regardless. Sounds like fun. I mean, that's bonus true damage on top of his regular damage, so I'm never gonna knock on the fact that we're getting true damage. I love the fact that it ignores defense, and it's why I love the Mandalorians. And it can't be evaded. And he and the weakest other Gungan ally recovers 10% protection, which is fantastic. So keeping whoever's the weakest alive, whoever's dying off. So whenever Captain Tarpal scores a critical hit, remove a stack of recharge from allied shield generator. So his... Oh my goodness. Hold on. Ouch time. Remove 2 stacks of recharge from allied shield generator. If this... Oh, okay. Smart. Okay, I just thought that was going to be absolutely busted. I was going to say, this is going to be insane, because if this crits on all 5 of the enemies that you're facing, you're just going to instantly, you know, have a turn for your shield generator, basically. That's like 10 stacks away already. But no, it's true damage, it can't crit. So that's smart balancing for them. I like that. They're doing good with their balancing. Okay. Remove 1 stack of shield generator from ally shield generator. Gungan allies gain 5% defense penetration for 1 turn for each stack of recharge removed from allied shield generator. Interesting. So the more that you can get your shield generator turns, the more you're also going to be increasing your defense penetration. Captain Tarpals gains 1% turn meter whenever an enemy is inflicted with a debuff. Whenever a debuffed enemy attacks Captain Tarpals, he counterattacks. Very, very nice. If there's an active shield generator at the start of Captain Tarpal's turn, dispel all debuffs on himself, ignore taunt, and whenever he attacks out of turn, inflict buff immunity for 1 turn. This is something I'm actually a little upset about. I feel like we're seeing this a little too much of ignoring tanks, where it's starting to feel like tanks aren't necessary anymore. And like, this was usually something reserved for like GLs and like big legendaries, but we're starting to see it more and more. We saw it in Bane, we're seeing it here on Tarpals, so it is kind of worrying to see this meta shift. It feels like a very high power meta shift where tanks are going to become less important over time. I could be wrong though. It could just be, you know, this is the one other character they wanted to add it to, but feels like we've been seeing it quite a bit. Why can't we just get one for Lord Vader is my question. Why are we giving it to Gungans when Lord Vader still doesn't have a way to get around taunt? Okay, so in territory battles, he's supposed to become amazing, apparently, according to the frequently asked questions. At the start of each encounter, Captain Tarpals gains 20% offense for each active Gungan ally. So, yeah. I wonder if the shield generator counts as a Gungan ally. That might be 120% and not 100%. And all allies gain crit damage up for 2 turns and 100% max protection until the end of the encounter. So he doubles the protection of the whole team, which they're already almost doubling their protection at the beginning of the battle. At the start of each Gungan ally's turn, they remove 1 stack of recharge from allied shield generator. So that means they'll remove 2 stacks with both him and Boss Nass on the team. So that's going to feed into all kinds of stuff, you know, including his defense penetration and all that kind of stuff. First time each Gungan ally falls below 50% health, they recover 100% health and protection at the start of Captain Tarpals' turn. If he has more than 50% protection, all Gungans gain offense up, otherwise they gain defense up for 2 turns. Okay, so kind of similar to how the leadership ability for Stormtrooper Han works, where, you know, anything above 50% and you're getting offense, below 50% and you're getting defense. Whenever a Gungan ally is dazed or stunned, they dispel it, reset their cooldowns, gain a bonus turn. Oh my gosh. That is so broken, holy crap. So, dazed or stunned. That's insane. Reset their cooldowns and gain a bonus turn. This is going to be an insane Territory Wars team and an insane raid team, and with Jar Jar, if his Omicrons are good, this is going to be an insane Grand Arena team. Like, this is crazy. Whenever Captain Tarpals scores a critical hit, add a stack of plasma shielding to the allied shield generator. So you can keep your shield generator alive longer with Captain Tarpals. So you're going to want to try and get him to assist as much as often. And we might be going for a crit chance set for him, for like all crit chance sets. Just try to get as many crits as you can. But I mean, that's Territory Wars. Without that, that's, you know, crit chance isn't nearly as important. But still, that is insane. So I am worried for the meta shift they're going for with this. Like, I wasn't worried about the meta shift when it came to Unaligned Force users and Tusken Raiders. I love the idea of anti-turn meter teams. But this whole team seems really broken. Like, Boss Nass could already almost solo gas. This character looks insane. He can ignore taunt, which, if that's going to keep happening, it's going to start nullifying a lot of teams. But so I'm a little worried for the meta shift, but overall this character looks amazing and feels awesome, and I'm really excited for him, especially because this is like the one Gungan that's ever made me excited about Gungans. Back when I was a kid, I wasn't a huge fan of Jar Jar. I thought Boss Nass was funny, didn't think Jar Jar was funny. But then I went and watched Clone Wars, and the episode where this guy duels General Grievous gave me so much respect for the Gungans, and was like, oh yeah, I like Gungans now. And so I am excited to get this guy, and I think that he has a really solid kit. I'm just a little worried about the meta shift. I'd love to hear what your guys' thoughts of this kit would be. I'd love to hear, you know, if you are worried about the meta, or if you're thinking, oh yeah, this is just, you know, another kit, we'll, you know, do something with it. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Oh, and a quick side note, right before I leave, the Jar Jar is now in the game, so you can go look at his 2D art shadow in the journey guide. But that's just a little fun side note. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.